Smith 213.
Hello everyone, welcome back to The Room. I am Jack Furry, your host for today.
Hey, I'm Sam.
Hi, I'm Nate.
Hi, I'm Mark. My grades are adequate, my attitude sometimes less than.
I'm not sure how I'm supposed to follow that, but I'm Nathan.
I am Adam, son of Robert of the noble family Borsma, servant of the Lord.
And I am Asher.
So you may have heard Nate. Nate is not a regular. We have a bonus guest with us today. And we're going to start off, I think, by just reading... I'm assuming this is going to come out sometime around Christmas. And just to start this off, I'm going to read Luke 2, the first 21 verses. There we go. And I'm obviously not going to tell you anything that you don't already know. If you've heard the gospel, you've already heard this, but I hope that you know that this isn't just a story. We must address this we must address this as it actually is. We must address this with the importance that the Bible puts on it. We have 4 different books accounting solely on the life of one man, and the entirety of the rest of the books are also based on and centered around Jesus and the Lord and how he came to die for our sins. So I hope that you're not just hearing another rendition of the same story. I hope you're hearing the message of the gospel and applying that to your life. Luke 2, verse 1. In those days, a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be registered. This was the first registration when Quirinius was governor of Syria, and all went to be registered, each to his own town. And Joseph also went up from Galilee, from the town of Nazareth to Judea, the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David, to be registered with Mary, his betrothed, who was with child. And while they were there, the time came for her to give birth. And she gave birth to her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no place for them in the inn. And in the same region there were shepherds out in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And an angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were filled with great fear. And the angel said to them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good news of great joy, that will be for all the people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is Christ the Lord. And this will be a sign for you. You will find a baby, wrapped in swaddling clothes, and lying in a manger. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, among those with whom he is pleased. When the angels went away from them into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, Let us go over to Bethlehem and see this thing that has happened, which the Lord has made known to us. And they went with haste and found Mary and Joseph and the baby lying in a manger. And when they saw it, they made known the saying that had been told them concerning this child. And all who heard it wondered as at what the shepherds told them. But Mary treasured up all these things, pondering them in her heart. And the shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all they had heard and seen, as it had been told them. And at the end of 8 days, when he was circumcised, he was called Jesus, the name given by the angel before he was conceived in the womb. So I want to know what you guys think about this passage.
My pastor in church this morning was preaching on the Christmas story, and he made a point that I think we need to remember all the time, and particularly around this time when we're thinking about the Christmas story. We hear it all the time, but all this stuff is incredible, and it actually happened. We need to be excited, just absolutely excited about all of everything that happened. The fact that Jesus, God himself, came to us in this way, in this time, and the fulfillment of so many centuries of prophecies, in the face of so much sin by the people of God, because God loves us because he is greater than all of it. We will never comprehend the full extent to which this is just utterly astounding. We should stand in awe every time we read these words. Yet we often just, we read it, we say, oh, that's nice, and we go open gifts, right? Our focus is distorted. So we need to be excited. We need to encourage each other to be excited about what God has done because of who he is.
It's also just so cool to see how the different gospels work together to describe the best they can who Jesus was and is. All those connections, all leading up to all the prophecies in Isaiah, everything that is coming down now to this one moment in time. In a sense, all the strings were pulled, and we have the angels appearing to shepherds. And you've probably heard it before, shepherds were nobody special. They were quite literally working the worst job you could possibly work. And the angels, a multitude of angels, and just the fact that the multitude appeared to the shepherds and not the wise men, not the masses of people, but the shepherds. And they told them to fear not, but go see him, go see the babe, and tell others about it. And they did, and that was just all these things that happened that night are just amazing, and they're so cool to think about and to know that it actually happened, and that our faith rests upon that.
One thing I'm noticing in the passage is God used regular people, right? Mary and Joseph, from what we know about them, they were awesome people and they loved God, but they were limited, sinful humans just like us, and they just did what God told them to do. So that's an amazing truth about God, that he uses us, and that's an encouragement for us. He uses us.
God has used a hymn in my life recently called My Jesus Fair, and the refrain goes, "O love divine, O matchless grace, that God should die for man. In joyful grief I lift my praise, abhorring all my sin, adoring only him." And that line, that God should die for man, is just astounding to me, because it highlights the deity of Jesus. Even though he was a man and died as a man, he is God, yet humbled himself to die in that way. That really depicts the depths of his love to me. So those lyrics have been a blessing to me.
You know, we said that all of history before that had been leading up to that moment when the Savior, the promised Savior, would come and save the world from sin as the perfect sacrifice. And I would point out that it also, all of history after that is looking back on that moment, because we're in the church age, and when we have a problem or something and we need some hope, what do? We look back at Jesus, and that's it really is the climax of the story, the climax and the twist, where sin seemed to be this unstoppable problem permeating everything, and then Jesus just comes in and turns that around, saves the day in the most epic way that only he could do.
To what Adam said, I agree in part, where it was looking forward to a savior to save the world from sin, but in a sense the world still hasn't been saved from sin. That although Christ came as Messiah, and countless prophecies pointed to that and were fulfilled in his coming, in his death, and his resurrection, conquering of death and sin, still many more have yet to be fulfilled in his second coming.
True.
Which honestly I'd say is what history truly looks towards, because the story of history was written by God with the intention of kingdom, the intention of his glory and his reign over all his creation.
True, yeah.
I think a nuance that kind of agrees with both of you, because you're not disagreeing with each other, obviously, is that all of history points to God. Every moment of it is for Him. And some of those moments, his birth, his death and resurrection, the creation, his second coming, those point to Him in an even stronger way. But it's all for Him. He's outside of time, so there is no climax for God. It's just all about Him. And we get to celebrate His coming, and that is a blessing, and we get to look forward to His second coming, and that too is a blessing.
To kind of change the subject just a little bit from that conversation, I've been looking fervently in all of my different Bibles for something I know I wrote down, but I can't find it. There is a passage in Philippians that talks about Jesus coming down and being born in the likeness of man. And I thought about that, and I was like, hold up. So I went back to Genesis, and they said, let us make man in our image. Likeness and image are similar words. That's just something that caught my attention, was that it's, we were made in the image of God, and Jesus was born in the likeness of man. I think one explanation to that would be, I think the image of God is less about the physical form and more about the traits that God is. So having that we have a spiritual side to us, we are made in the image of God and have that side to us, and then the likeness of man would be the form, the physical form. Jesus took on that physical carnality and fulfilled this physical form as it was originally meant to be lived in. I mean, again, it doesn't super adhere to what we're talking about, but I mean, just even talking about it out loud helps me think about it, and I hope that's something that can maybe stimulate some thinking in you guys and whoever's listening. And maybe if anybody else has anything to add to that, I know I definitely have some brain food to chew on, to digest for the next couple days. One thing that we do here at BJU, one thing that is a almost an excessive focus here is music. So one thing we thought, and was an idea from our friends Luke and Joel, the idea for the segment that they put out there is an instrument tier list. And with Christmas coming up, there's a lot of performances happening, a lot of orchestral stuff, a lot of performances of Handel's Messiah. You're going to see a lot of instruments, a lot of classical instruments, a lot of brass, woodwinds, and we're going to try to create a little bit of an instrument tier list. I think for the sake of this segment, I almost think we should pick our favorite instrument and just defend it for like 2 minutes. And then
That's rough.
pick your
It's not
favorite,
hard for me.
pick your favorite instrument, defend it for 2 minutes. We have so many opinions here and so many upbringings that we're not going to agree on anything.
Let's choose our instruments.
Yes.
Yes, go
Go,
first.
Adam.
Adam.
I say
2 minutes.
the greatest of the stringed instruments would be the violin. Because here's my sell it to you. I mean, okay, my logic is violins have a beautiful noise. They can do so many different functions.
It is a beautiful noise.
It's a beautiful noise. It's a beautiful noise, guys. But like, it has a lot of emotional range. You can play sad. You can play happy. You know, it's violins can do so much.
This is true.
The fiddle's better.
And also, when you can take any instrument, there are so many amazing instruments on that list. Take any of them, have a violin or a couple violins supporting, and it just sounds even more amazing.
You have to have a really good violin
You have to have a
player.
really
You have to have
good
a good
violinist.
Yeah,
Violinists are
friends
not.
who are excellent on the violin, and I can vouch it is a gorgeous instrument.
This is true. But you get anyone that's even subpar, and all of a sudden,
if you've got a
violin's
decent-
not your favorite anymore.
There is a
Not
drop
bad.
off.
Even if you have a decent violin player,
I
The
honestly,
violin has more margin of error than the viola in that regard. Yes. Because it's
Yeah.
already so much more screechy.
And the
gonna
fact
get
that it's so
shot
difficult
when I
means
go
that when you
home.
hear it right, you respect it.
I do have a lot of respect for good violin players.
Yes.
I do
I
as
do
well.
too.
I do as well.
What they can play.
The flute and the violin both have the same thing to me.
Yes.
It's like if you're
No,
even a little
no.
bit bad,
Yes.
they can. It all of a
Yes.
sudden becomes your least favorite instrument.
I don't know. Oboists either sound really good or like a duck that just got stabbed.
Well, at least
That, my friends, is a
I'd rather-
haiku.
I'd rather listen to a duck that got stabbed than a really bad flute. So
Really bad oboe is worse than really bad flute.
Okay,
You
but
heard it here. This man loves
alright,
stabbing
so-
ducks.
All right, so I am a trumpet player. At least I am competent in the trumpet. So I personally have some
Bias is valid.
bias against the flutes. We'll put it that
on the
way.
resume.
So.
That's
Okay,
fair.
no,
That's
yeah, trumpets hating flute is fair.
Okay.
there's one thing that can improve the flute, which is if you're
It
like
not
my,
existing?
If you're like my brother and your
Hey, that's
flute is
just
like
too far.
really sick and like the end where the noise comes out is like the mouth of a dragon. It's really cool, even though he doesn't know how to play.
Yeah, I do agree with you. A really cool looking instrument, even if you don't know how to play it, is still a cool instrument.
Yeah.
All right,
You know what yours is.
Yes, the electric guitar. There is so much that electric guitar can do. Even a just random run-of-the-mill $100 electric guitar, it can be played so many different ways. And there are so many different things that you can do to make it sound good. And it's not only a skill of just musical talent, it's also a skill of audio talent and how good you are at shaping sounds themselves. So, yeah, the electric guitar is a very, very dynamic instrument that you don't actually need to know everything about it in order to play it even mediocrely well. And a mediocre guitarist sounds good. Like, if you can play a few chords on the guitar that you learn in like 20 minutes, you can play the guitar. I personally find that also the music that is written for a lot of electric guitar solos, especially metal guitar solos, have very classical origin and are very, very classical in nature. If I remember correctly, the Moonlight Sonata, the first movement, da 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 da, that chord progression can be found note for note exactly a half step up, I believe, in Eddie Van Halen's Eruption solo, the most famous tapping part. I could play it if I had my guitar right now.
Where were the copyright police when Beethoven wrote that?
Yeah, I find the electric guitar to be the most satisfying instrument.
It is, I'll give you that. It's very satisfying when it's done right.
Yes, of course. All right, Mr. Jack.
All right, Jack.
The voice. I think the vocal cords, without being specifically made differently, are the most. They have the most variety of sound that you can possibly make than any other instrument.
Piano.
Electric guitar.
Anything synthesized.
Just
doesn't
about
count.
anything beyond 2 octaves.
Piano doesn't have the same variety of tone quality.
Okay, but
There's
what
a
about
singular
Fair.
tone quality.
what about birds?
Okay, I mean you
Organ.
can have different pianos, but a single piano.
Birds are not
I agree.
instruments.
Birds are definitely not instruments.
Oh, wait.
There are
Stab a
limits.
duck.
Even
I mean,
This reminds me
there
of
are limits
a-
even when you're wrong.
You've never heard the sounds a goose can make when you squeeze it right.
This reminds me of an experiment that a psychopath did, where he took kittens who made different pitched meows, and he stuck them all in individual boxes, and he built this contraption to poke them whenever a button was pressed, and they meowed in tune. So he would play cats. He would play like a piano type contraption, and the cats would meow. They're different pitches.
That's messed up.
It is.
In so many ways.
I love it, and I hate it.
Did we get
No,
Peter's gonna
Asher, you just
sue
love
us.
it.
Did we get the
bad.
full soundtrack of Cats the musical as done?
No, the Cats the musical wasn't written yet.
Dang it!
This was long before.
I
the
guess we
musical.
gotta do
was,
it
It was
again.
during the time when Peter.
the reprise.
Sam, I'm not that evil, okay?
He's an android. He has no feeling.
Literally torturing kittens, guys.
Okay,
We don't torture kittens here, please.
going back, I mean,
The kitten is not our favorite.
the kitten is not my favorite instrument, by the way. But
Good.
in my experience and my thought process, you can have anywhere. I mean, obviously, this is why so many different genres of vocal music exists, because you can have so many different qualities of sound. You can have people who are higher voiced, who are lower voiced. You have the male voice and the female voice, and you have crossovers, which is a genetic thing. That is a genetic thing, not something that somebody does. People have, like, they're called contraltos or countertenors that can sing either part, and like women who have a really low voice can sing the tenor part, blah blah blah. And so
like me in choir before the 9th grade.
Yes.
yes.
Not quite
So
the
I
same,
was
but
a
sure.
I was a
Going on
boy
there.
soprano before my voice changed.
Yeah.
And so the fact that you can have all those things and you can put them in a choir or you can put them on a solo, there's just so many different possible ways, and I know you can do that with like a cello, but there's only so different a cello can sound without you literally remaking the instrument. And I guess you could make an argument that it's like, oh, well, if you train it one way, you can't necessarily sing another way. That's not necessarily true either. And like somebody used Italian vocal warm-ups, Italian opera vocal warm-ups, and went from that to they were training to sing country music. They were I'm not kidding.
I personally use the stuff that I'm learning in my voice lessons here to train for singing the kind of music that I personally want, which is more of a pop punk grunge type. I eventually want to achieve metal status. Not necessarily screaming metal, but singing metal. There is a big difference.
There is a big difference
Look it
between that. And there is just so many different ways. There's the music. There is a specific sound that you hear when you hear, oh, that's a Disney singer, that's a Broadway singer, that is an opera singer, that is a metal singer, that is a pop singer. You can tell all those different things, and it's still the voice. It is still the voice track. And that is why I advocate for it, even though, okay, maybe it isn't a thing that is made. Maybe it isn't a thing that is manufactured. Well, I mean, by God. But,
It's not a device or implement, but it is still valuable musically.
I will leave it there.
Agree to disagree.
Sam,
Secondary issue.
Please enlighten us.
I wonder, who here knows? I don't think anyone knows what my favorite instrument is.
The bagpipes.
Bagpipes? All right, guys. If you know me, you know my favorite instrument is the piano. Playing the piano is one of my favorite things on this world. That is not an exaggeration. The piano. Why are you clapping?
Because piano.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. The piano is maybe not as versatile as the voice, but it can do everything, right? Pianos are accompaniments for everything. They can be they can be you can do duets. You can there's something for piano for six hands. It can be everything. You can express any emotion on the piano. I can name pieces where just in the course of a few minutes it runs the entire range of human emotion. There is so much in the piano.
Yes.
And different people will connect differently on different levels to different instruments, right? But I think the piano is one of those fundamental ones that is more universal, more perfectly connects to human experience than many other things. Separate hot take, right? Piano is better than orchestra, like in general, and orchestra, because the best that an orchestra can do, a piano can do too.
Yes.
What about an orchestra and a piano?
That's the best, especially when the piano is the point and the orchestra is helping it.
What about
Concerto.
Anyway, that's my 2 minutes.
Thank you, Sam. I love your take.
Mark
I love your
forgoes
appreciation of my take.
Mark forgoes his opinion because it's the exact same as Sam's.
Oh, I've got plenty to share. But
Oh,
first,
Mark has...
Nate.
Nate, what you got?
Yeah, so I actually made a checklist of points I want to hit on these next couple of minutes. Honorable mentions before I reveal my number one pick.
Okay.
First off, I just want you to know that if you do not believe that the voice is the instrument, you are on the incredible minority side of the modern and historical understanding of the music world. I just want to throw that out there, just as a little thing for you to consider. Anyway, so a couple honorable mentions. The theremin. So big fan of those. I also enjoy a good automaton.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but
Okay.
I'm not familiar.
These are
all instruments that chat was saying. Don't include these on a tier list. They're too niche.
right. Well, this is why they're honorable mentions.
And that's fine.
Because I'm about to introduce a recognized orchestral instrument that I think you probably weren't thinking of, but you don't
Okay.
realize how much weight it lifts.
All right.
Enter the triangle. Now,
Actually, yes.
here's
A
couple
good
of thoughts.
triangle solo or a good triangle
I'm
hit
sorry?
can make or break an orchestra.
It makes or breaks, and that's what we need to consider. The triangle is the strongest shape, and just as the triangle is the strongest shape,
Whoa, okay, now we're getting into the shape.
the
Hold up now.
triangle.
No,
the
that's
instrument,
physics. It is.
Is the strongest
Oh,
instrument.
physically, okay. I thought you were talking about
I want you to think about this for a
society.
moment. I want you to think about this for a moment. When I sit down in the audience and I'm listening to an orchestra, you have your beautiful piano doing a lot of the heavy lifting, and
Absolutely.
I will not question that whatsoever. But no cake is good simply for being cake. A cake is made or broken by that icing, that cherry, that one sprinkle, if out of place, could get you off of chopped, and that's what the triangle is, really and truly. It is a piece of manly, portable, dignified,
Manly.
set apart, cold hard steel, okay? And only the most
I don't know if I'd call it
perfected
manly.
and well crafted of musicians could ever hope to actually use it to its ultimate potential.
I want him back on the podcast.
I think he's in charge now.
Yes, Jack and I are just over here dying.
What's more manly than straight up cold hard steel?
Okay, I feel like
Being played for music.
I mean,
What about the string?
There ain't no string on a triangle.
You have to hold it by something.
it's
With
suspended.
your hands?
You can't hold a triangle with your hands. It won't make
Doesn't
the
that-
noise.
You
Yeah,
get
but-
another. You get a
Yeah.
piece of leather because you're made.
Oh,
of
leather. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Leather.
Leather because you're manly. Oh, for sure, for sure.
Handmade by yourself in your backyard.
Yeah.
You killed the cow with your bare hands. You tanned that for months in the backyard in the sun.
And did you forge the triangle too?
Of course.
To the perfect
Why would you not
dimensions?
forge the triangle?
You're
Can
a
you not do
man.
that shape in your own kiln at home? It's really just 3 lines.
All right.
All right, Mark.
Mark.
First, I'd like to say, Nate, it's a joy to listen to you speak. You use the English language for the exact purpose it was created. Now, you mentioned cold hard steel.
Uh-oh.
I would like to suggest the instrument which contains the most cold hard steel of any.
The Titanic.
The mighty no.
We can't play that one anymore.
Yeah, that went out of style.
That went-
Wow.
Okay, that got really dark really fast. Moving on.
Gentlemen, I would like to suggest, for your consideration, the mighty pipe organ.
Oh, yes.
Also valid.
If Curtis was in here, he'd give you a shattering amen.
That he would, and with good reason. He plays it astoundingly well. The one in
Yes.
War Memorial Chapel
Yes.
is a pleasure to listen to while he is playing
I played
it.
that one.
The
It's
grand-
very good.
It is. The
Yes,
pipe
it's very
organ
fun.
is the grandest of instruments. Often cathedrals are constructed around the pipe organ, with it running all throughout the building. It's a wonderful instrument, which can be played with both hands and both feet at the same time, making it a full body experience to play.
It is.
Indeed,
And
indeed.
here.
Let me make this hard for you because it has the range, it has the emotion, it has the power, it has the steel. But defend the organ against the piano.
He doesn't want to do that. I already took piano.
Yeah, no, I
he
can't
believes in
rightfully do
piano.
that. Piano is my baby.
Which one?
But
Which one is better?
I would argue piano, for my purposes, is better. But
Organ is grander. I
the
will
organ is
I will
grander.
grant you that
and
for
it is
sure.
capable of producing a
Like you'll grant
surprising
him that.
range of tone qualities, which the piano cannot match. The stops on it allow you to make all kinds
This
of
is
different
true.
sound combinations and dynamic levels. And I'll,
but you can't-
I'll wrap up with this. J.S. Bach, the father of Western music, he himself called the pipe organ the king of instruments.
One more point to the organ. If you can't tell, I enjoy funny. The organ is also a funny instrument, and I'll tell you why.
This is true.
There is currently a several hundred-year-long artistic expression. going on.
649 years long.
I'm so glad you're aware of this. Are you guys aware of As Slow as Possible?
No, I am not.
This is a piece of music.
They just changed chords.
They just changed chords! There is a piece of music called As Slow as Possible, which is, a standard length composition meant for the organ. However, as the title indicates, it is meant to be played as slow as possible. Everything is fermated, essentially. So, right now, there is an organ in a chapel that is under constant stream and maintenance, being played by sandbags to hold down the keys. So that, over the span of 649 years, this standard-length piece of music can be played, with people constantly checking in on it, and eventually changing out those sandbags to change chords, as we have so momentously done. This has been going on for, I think, like a couple of decades.
This is what humanity has come to. It's like,
If only there was a sped up recording of the
There
entire
probably
thing.
will
it
be.
would be on like
I
Will be
think
in
someone
600
has-
years.
Bro, it's going to be
600
just a...
times
You could
speed.
probably look up the sheet music and play the 4 chords in 6 seconds. All right. What are your 2 minutes,
Why
Nathan?
49? Never mind.
there's a whole list that I would love to include, but it occurred to me that my favorite instrument is probably the erhu, or also known as the Chinese fiddle.
He chose the most obscure instruments. that he
You
could-
will recognize the sound of it. All right.
Oh, he's playing a sound.
All right.
Oh no,
It's-
we'll have to cut this out.
Hey.
I don't want to deal with
One
legal
second.
stuff.
Do you recognize
We
this at all?
don't have to cut this out because you're doing it by yourself. Good job.
Oh, is that
I do
from, like,
recognize
Kung
it.
Fu
Yes,
Panda?
it
Kung Fu
is.
Panda.
That is quite nice, but are you sure
I
it's
do
the
enjoy
best
that
of instruments?
instrument.
I'm saying it's my personal favorite. I would
That
probably
is
go with
fair.
organ if I was going to say the objectively grandest and best of all instruments. I would probably say the organ.
See, you
But-
gotta ask though, is grand best?
No.
I'm saying that.
One thing that I'm hearing is that you can play the electric guitar along with every single one of these mentioned instruments. I've heard
Where
it
is
done.
my triangle and electric guitar duet? Give that to me.
When the triangle is part of a drum set on a metal kit.
No, I'm talking about a man standing on his own with nothing but a triangle.
I don't see a piano being improved by the presence of an electric guitar,
You do
but
something
I
improved
beg
by the
to-
presence of a
My
triangle.
dear Sam, you need to go look up a piece. Shoot.
I don't think I do.
It's called
Chopin
the
is enough for me.
Exogenesis Symphony.
I might forget that.
How can you? Fine. It is.
All right.
It is a piano with an electric guitar.
Okay.
It hits.
All right.
Nathan.
As I was saying, when the Chinese fiddle is played well, it is absolutely beautiful. That was a synthesized garage band instrument that you can play on your phone, so that doesn't do it very justice very well.
Right.
But it's very oriental sounding. If you hear a higher pitched stringed instrument in, say, Kung Fu Panda or other oriental, like Mulan or something, it is likely that is the instrument that you are hearing. Would you like more detail? Because if you would, I would have to switch instruments.
Nope.
Nathan likes the erhu.
Oh, I have one more instrument I'm just curious on your thoughts on.
Yes.
The jaw harp.
Yes.
Yes.
We were talking about this
Yes.
the other day.
My
Yes.
the banjo playing grandfather also has one of those.
Of course he does.
Oh, yes.
I
No,
get
wait.
to see
I know
him
what
play
this
both
is.
at the same time.
I have one at home. I should bring it. Moving forward, we have our...
story.
Shush! I am doing the introducing.
Okay, fine.
Just like the Gryffindor. He needs all the attention himself.
Well, it's just like the Slytherin to steal it from him.
We have our special guest, Nate, with us, and he's going to tell us a special story in a guest segment.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess segment
And-
that will be regularly occurring.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's coming back, man. Executive decision from the person who's not the executive. He's coming back.
I'm honored. You all are such a wonderful audience, and I guess I'll give a little bit of background as to why some of these gentlemen are even aware of this story to begin with. A username on a social media of mine is Storytelling Pickle, and what you are about to hear is the birth of that username. So several years ago, I was in high school, and they were dark days, but. During those dark days, I found my love for the delicious food that is the pickle. And I, got into all things pickle, such as socks, food, paraphernalia. I actually have a vintage Heinz pickle throw blanket at home that my mom got me with a matching mug. So yeah, I was in high school, and I really, I like the food. I like the pickle core aesthetic, if you will. Yeah. So I eventually reached a point where I thought to myself, I have all of this stuff, but I have yet to become the pickle. And
Be the pickle.
be the pickle you want to see in the world. I decided that the telos of my love was to buy a full body pickle costume. So I went online, and people have banana costumes, inflatable T-Rex costumes, but I was going to be special in this. How many guys do you know own a pickle costume? One, me. And I realized, just the pickle costume is kind of lame, so you need the Mickey Mouse gloves to go with it. So we bought those too.
He's not wrong.
And I would wear it for the important events like open house for school where my mom taught. Church camps, going to the beach. I eventually developed a sort of reputation among a lot of the things that my family, my school, my church would attend, where I was the guy that people saw in the pickle costume. My mom would go to teachers' conventions in Florida, and some of the people that had curriculum booths started to recognize me over the years. It was great. And I eventually realized, I need to start bringing a jar of pickles with me so that I can bestow the goodness upon others. Share the love, if you will. So I started, just packing a jar of, whatever was cheapest, generally, because it was my money, in my suitcase, and I'd go to camp, hand them out. It's great. Well, I went to one summer camp the summer before my junior year of high school. Junior year of high school, and it was an interesting camp. It was outdoors mostly in the Florida summer heat. So already not off to a great start, but they had a lot of on-ground competition to fill the time between the preaching, and they had stuff like checkers, of which I was a 2-year undefeated champion. They had battleship, they had marksmanship, they had comedy, and they had preaching. And so that year, I decided I was going to try again at the comedy. I tried the year before, and I just, I really didn't do well. And it's my own fault for not preparing. But I signed up for both of them. And that whole week, I didn't really know what I was going to do. And I was kind of stewing on it, thinking, this is my last year to do it. I really need to go big or go home. I need to help people feel the weight of what they're about to see when I go on that platform.
A comedy show.
Of like a 3-minute segment, yeah. This was a big deal for me. And I was thinking about it throughout the week, and then the day of, and my greatest work happens day of, I was talking with some friends, and they're like, well, you brought the costume. And I was like, yeah, obviously I'm going to do something with the costume. And like, well, you brought the jar, and you haven't used up all your pickles, so maybe do something with that. And then I had it. I had the idea, I went back to my cabin, put on the costume, grabbed my jar, got ready for the show. So, they do the first couple of acts, and, they're middling at best. They just didn't know what was about to follow. And they announced my name, and I had people ready to give me the double door entrance, and I came in all of my pickled glory. Gloves on, jar in hands, held like a newborn, because those gloves do not give you any grip. And if I dropped that jar walking up, it would have been the worst opening. So I walked up and I started my act. And my act was, I told the story of Jonah using a jar of pickles. I got up and I started telling the story, and I said, this is Jonah, and God told him, go to Nineveh and tell them they're going to be destroyed. A very Reader's Digest version of the story because I had so little time. And I was, holding him like this, dangling from my gloved fingers. And I said, and then Jonah said he was going to go as far away from Nineveh as he could. So he got on a ship to Tarshish. And I take the jar of the lid of the pickle jar, and I just put him in there, and I called that the boat. And then I said, and I fished around in the jar, I'm like, and this was the boat's captain, Dylan. Put him on there, and then
Oh, Nathan,
and you know, I did a couple more of those, and then I said, and then they sailed away to Tarshish, and you know, I'm like rocking the lid back and forth, and they're sliding and all their briny goodness, and I'm like, but suddenly there was a storm, and then I get the 30-second warning, so I know I gotta wrap up. And now the Book of Jonah, good 4 chapters, so I'm in chapter 1. So I pivoted. And, you know, I'm rocking back and forth, and I realized I'm not going to tell the whole story, and that's not the point. The point is to be funny without being a heretic. I said...
Key difference.
And so...
just like this podcast.
Just like this podcast.
Be funny without her heresy.
Well, you guys can edit that out. And so I'm rocking the lid back and forth, and I'm like, and the winds were blowing, and they went to Jonah. I picked up the Captain Dylan, and I said, Jonah, what are we gonna do? And I laid him back down, and I picked up Jonah. He said, it's my fault, I'm sorry, throw me overboard. And then I get the 10-second warning, and then, you know, I was like, and they were like, we can't throw you over, Jonah. And he said, do it, you're in too much of a pickle not to. And then there was this moment of silence, and I said, and then they threw him over? And then I said, and he got swallowed up by the big pickle, and I swallowed the thing. Just one, like I unhinged my jaw.
Like a snake.
Like a snake. And as I do that, the guy comes up and ushers me off because I ran out of time. So it was really just like a swallow, he died, and that's the end of the story. Sorry. And so I sat back down in the audience because the competition wasn't over, and I like got out of my costume because it's a very warm costume. Very hot, some might say. More
Interesting.
well, you know, I've got the data to back it up.
Wow.
But
many love notes did you get that week?
You know, I get out of that, and underneath I'm wearing my collared shirt because I'm about to preach in the preaching competition, and so they finished the comedy competition, and they say, all right, now we're going to start the preaching competition. And then they said, first up, Nate, because you guys, yeah. So I get up, and I go up, and I go to the pulpit, and I preach on Jonah. and I think that there's a key takeaway to this, which is if you want to succeed in the comedy world, you know, if you want to be a star, you don't let the end of your show be the end of the joke, right? Because my punchline did not come when I swallowed that dill spear whole in front of the onlookers. The punchline came 10 minutes later when they called me up to preach, and I opened up to Jonah to the same audience that had just heard me tell the jokes. And that's how you take away first place for both the comedy and the preaching.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And I still to this day am the storytelling pickle because I've been able to relate that to you all.
All right. Well, thank you, Nate, for that awesome story. Yes. I will never forget it now that I've heard it twice.
I hope not.
And I was equally interested and entertained both times.
Yeah.
It positively pickled me, Tink.
Anyway, in the spirit of the holidays and celebrating, one of the main things that college kids are doing is travel. And the airport is I am no stranger to the airport, and especially the Atlanta, Georgia airport.
Oh.
So this is the story of me traveling back for Thanksgiving break to campus from my home in Minnesota, and there are no non-stop flights to Greenville because Greenville is a tiny airport and MSP is not a tiny airport.
Yeah,
and
GSP is a very small airport.
Yes.
Beautiful one.
It's beautiful, but it's small, and I can't go directly, so it's really annoying. I have to take 2 flights every single time, and some of those flights, I'm not kidding, are 30 minutes long.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
What fun.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm traveling back, and my layover to get back is at 11. It's at Atlanta, and I land at 11:48. No, I'm supposed to get to Greenville at 11:48. I land at my layover, and it's pretty tight. And so I'm like, okay, it won't be that big of a deal. I think I can still make it. We're already getting delayed because we had to clear stuff off of the wings. We had some circling issues that we just had to get through, but I could still make it. So we're just waiting for the gate, and they finally clear the gate of debris. That was another delay that happened. But again, I'm still on time. I can still make it. So we get up 12 feet before we actually get to the gate. 12 feet. And we get stuck in a pothole. I am 12 feet away from being able to get off of the plane. I am 12 feet away, and the plane gets stuck in a pothole. And I've never heard of this happening before. Anyway, we have to wait another, 10 minutes to, get the thing tugged out of there to get us finally, finally connected, and they didn't let me off early because I got rebooked while I was still on the flight. So I get rebooked not for 11:05, and I would have landed at 11:45. I get rebooked for 8:05 in the morning on Monday. And it's Saturday, it's Sunday, so it's not like I'm waiting full days, but I have to get here and get on the plane at 8:05 in the morning, and somehow still make it to classes, because it's a week 2 weeks before finals, and I don't really want to miss anything. So anyways, so I'm like, okay, first thing is I need to know where my bag is, and I need to know if I can get a voucher for a hotel. I get in line, I get in the virtual queue for the Delta helper thing, and I'm 97 in line. There are so many people there. 1, I felt claustrophobic. 2, I felt people-phobic. And 3, I wanted to go home again. I was pothole-phobic too. And so I'm sitting there, I'm calling my parents, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I call one of those hotline things that they have just right there. And I call it, and I'm like, hey, where's my bag? And they're like, oh, it's arriving in Greenville. It's arriving in Atlanta right now. And I didn't know that meant it would just follow me. I thought they had unloaded my bag and it was going down to the carousel. So I was like, okay, I can still grab my bag and be able to get to a hotel at a reasonable time. I wait 30 minutes for the line time to go down, and I go down to 80. So I'm like, I'm not waiting. So I go down to where my bag is supposed to be, and I search there for probably 15, 20 minutes. And no, it was actually supposed to just follow me. They did not unload my bag. So I wasted 15, 20, somewhere around 25 minutes down there looking for my bag. So that's another little bit of time lost. And so I am in survival mode. And so it's 11:30 or I think it's 11:30 at the moment. So then I go down to wait for a shuttle, because that would take me to the hotel that my dad just booked for me. I reserved a room for the night and booked a room for the night. So I go down to the shuttle place, and I wait there for probably another 10, 15 minutes, and no shuttle. Then I'm like, okay, fine. This is going to be easier. I'm just going to go to get an Uber. So I'm walking up, and my phone is about to die. I'm stressing out, so I plug my phone into my laptop that I have, and so it starts charging. I'm like, okay, that's one thing that I don't have to worry about. Good. So I'm still on the call with my parents, and I'm trying to figure out where Uber is sending me. And so I'm walking there. It takes another probably 15 minutes to get there, and then I wait in the Uber spot to get picked up for probably 30 to 45 minutes. And at this point, it's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Is it even worth going to the hotel?
It probably wasn't, but at this point I was too far to not go.
Baby.
And so anyway, I get to the Uber spot. I wait there. I finally get in the Uber, and I'm like, okay, no more people. I'm done with people. I can't deal with more people. I get out at the hotel, and there's a line to get registered. There's a line to get to check into the hotel, and I'm like, I'm gonna break down because I'm just so stressed and so tired. And so I get in line. The people in front of me finally get through the line, and I step up, and she decides to go to the bathroom, obviously. And then she finally deals with me. I get into my room, and I remember looking at my watch the next day. I got 2 hours and 8 minutes of sleep before I had to wake up and go and get No,
That's not my
I got
usual.
on the shuttle. I finally got on the shuttle and went to the thing. I got checked in. Thank the Lord that thank the Lord for all of this as well. Like, he's the reason that I got anywhere.
Amen, brother.
So it was just like so stressful, and so the morning was fine. I got an Uber to school. I got on campus at 9:30.
For your
Wow.
8 o'clock class?
No, I had a
not
9
have an
o'clock. I had a
8
9
o'clock
o'clock class. I missed my 9 o'clock class. Well, the thing is, I still have all my stuff. I'm not going to class. I'm not going to the
gonna
9
drop his
o'clock
stuff
class.
off.
I'm gonna go drop my stuff off. I'm filthy. I am so gross. I'm just like, I've been stressing out. I've been wearing the same clothes. I've been wearing the same clothes for probably 36 hours.
At least you didn't look like a giant pickle.
This is true, but he didn't. What? Wait a second.
I think Nathan just made
I feel like that's slightly insulting, but like
But
almost
okay,
not quite.
so I get back on campus at 9:30. I had already emailed all my professors. I was like, I'm not making it to anything before chapel. Except
made it to theory class.
Except I love myself, and actually I hate myself. So I went. I dropped my stuff off. I went and took a shower. I got back in, got my stuff on, and I was 5 minutes late to my 10 o'clock class. And
You said you would be 10 minutes late.
I
so
said I would be
that's-
10 minutes
that's
late, so
good.
I was actually early by being 5 minutes late.
That's how that
Time
works.
is relative. Maybe
Exactly.
I'm on time and you all are early.
Exactly. Because my life was all that I was worrying about in those 36 hours. And so that is probably one of the most stressful times I've had. It would have been just better to sleep at the airport. I would
No,
have
it's
just
not.
found
It would not have been better. I've had that experience. It's not good. I got maybe
I would have
1 hour
gotten
sleep
more
that night.
sleep. The thing is, I would have gotten more than 2 hours if I had had. I wasted. You forget, I wasted 3 or 4
all
hours
that
doing
travel
all of
time.
that, and the stress. That's another thing.
You know,
It
I had
wasn't-
almost the exact same experience as you, except there was a tornado,
Ooh,
and it was also Chicago O'Hare,
ooh.
and I got
Yeah, I
maybe
wouldn't
1
want to
hour
be
of
stuck
sleep.
there.
Oh, Chicago
technology.
O'Hare,
Nah.
international, international as well.
Yeah,
I would not
Chicago
want to
O'Hare.
be stuck in a
It was
national
not fun. I got maybe 1 or 2 hours of sleep, if that. I was awake for probably
Did you have theory
most
class
of
the next
4
day?
days. No.
I'm kidding. So anyway, that was my fun little travel story, and I really hope that it doesn't happen again. And we will not be doing any more really late night flights. Yep,
There it is.
we're coming on finals, and we still spent the time to spend that time with y'all and tell y'all some fun stories.
If you're listening to this, we've made it through finals.
Probably.
And if we haven't made it through finals, you're aware of that fact.
Well, I mean,
This is
maybe
true.
not.
But yeah,
I knew
we
it
thank
well.
you guys for listening this far, if you got this far. And take a look at our social media page, if it's up by the time this comes out. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great Christmas.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
to you all.
A Happy New Year!
And a Happy New Year. We may do just a little plan for later on. We may do a remote episode. We have to get that planned out, just to give it a little bit of maybe it might happen, it might not. But yeah, just to give you a little bit of pretense. And now we'll go to Mark. What do you have for us?
Our closing remarks.
For today's closing remarks, I have a few choice words I'd like to share. Ironmonger. Recalcitrant. Passé. Scintillating. Flumberding. Sesquipedalian.
Yes.
Putrefy.
Yeah, it's just like went downhill there. Oh, such good words.
Spatula. This has been my closing remarks. Thank you.
You saved it there. at the end.
Thank you guys.
You saved it there.
We
at the
thank you for listening, and you guys have a Merry Christmas. We'll see you in the room next time.
Smith 213.